Cosmic here, welcome to the channel, and today we're going to be opening a box of Code Geass, one of the strongest sets in Union Arena, as well as showing off the hits at the end. Now, the small disclaimer I do have to add here is, unfortunately, we were only able to get half a case at this time. We are still waiting for the other half of the case to come in, so there will be more to show off on Twitter and other places, but definitely look forward to that on a future post or what have you. Other than that, I did post another video that talks about all the different deck lists that you can build out of this set, so definitely check that out if you haven't already, just as a good way to get excited for Orlando if you're able to go join that big tournament, or just the other rare battles that are going on almost immediately after the set. Our first rare battle was on Friday, which was an interesting choice to say the least. So again, I'm just going to be going through showing off some of the different cards in the set, hits at the end, and then also just talking about some other key cards here, maybe as they come up. So as I mentioned earlier on, this is one of the strongest sets in Union Arena. Now, obviously, the Japan meta does look quite a bit different these days, as Code Geass did launch a little bit ago by now. But we have our first foils. The set as it came out actually had three different very strong decks. The red deck, the Academy, was actually the strongest and was getting the first restriction actually in JPUA, and then obviously in the English set we just didn't get it at all, so a little bit of a balancing thing that happened there. However, I do think that the Academy deck is still very, very strong. Probably fell down to tier 1.5 after the nerfs out of tier 0, but something that is still worth checking out if you like red. And also, it's the first time that we're getting red in the card game in general, so that's really exciting to see. Red has had a little bit of a struggle so far in Union Arena in terms of finding its right balance, finding what cards effects that they want to kind of lead into, but generally it's always been a more aggressive color that is pretty typical of other Bandai games in general, just of how they've been seen in other card games. So maybe not all of that surprise that it's doing the same thing here in Union Arena. The color trigger is a little bit weaker with being only a 2500 effect, but it is something that if you hit it at the right time early enough, or if we're just in a more aggressive meta in general, I think can be very, very strong. However, in general, I actually haven't gotten that action point yet out of the other, what I opened 7 boxes, and this is box number 8 technically. Haven't opened that one yet. But it is something that we have to see how the kind of NA meta shapes up around it. Again, there is a bit more aggro that's kind of getting played than maybe what we saw in Japan, be it people are just wanting to zoom and what have you, or there are some very effective strategies that you can play out of a more aggressive base. But either way, it is a game that, pick the series that you like, pick the characters you like, just build a deck, have fun. It is pretty cheap to get into. There's usually only one like more expensive deck than the other per set. I'll have to see how this Code Geass set goes, and because there was a little bit of an allocation issue that we saw, at least locally, so not sure if that's everywhere, but something to keep in mind that if we do see prices remain a little bit high, that is probably the reason why. So that is something to be aware of and kind of monitor as the prices are fluctuating. I think because we do see 3 very strong sets, or 3 very strong decks in this set, I would not be surprised at all if we do see a little bit higher of a premium on the super rares across the board, because again, there are just there's more playables in this set than multiple sets combined is really how it comes together. And so there we have our first SR, and then another CC. Or sorry, C2. There I go. I know someone's gonna grill me in the comments for it, but yes, in my brain it is CC still, but I know that's C2, V2. And all that stuff I've been corrected on. So it's still a series that I have not had a chance to watch yet. It's still kind of on my back burner for something I want to watch. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of some of the artwork and designs that are in this set, being a huge Gundam fan. You might have noticed the Gundam mat, which we'll share more about later in a future video. I got to talk about the world premiere that we went to, but ultimately, obviously, very excited for the Gundam card game as well to be coming out. And it was very well received, actually, down at the events and also at the other world premieres, as it were, that they had in Utrecht as well as Singapore. And I gotta say, the Singapore displays that they had set up actually looked like super great. So probably the last pack, and then we're just gonna do the hits out of the pack, see if we get rares or super rares, because now we're just doubling up on a lot of the commons or uncommons. So again, very strong set. If you are a fan of Code Geass, this is definitely a must buy, just because it is so strong. And then also we already have a volume 2 for this, and I really love this Lancelot card. We already have set 2 in Japan, and it made the decks even stronger, believe it or not. So I would not be surprised at all if we get a set 2 announced here kind of around the corner. Now, the other question I know that I'm going to get in the comments is, because these starter decks were included, or the starter deck was included, you know, in the main set, has that really seemed to mess up ratios? And I've already kind of put away my my super rares and kind of sorted them out, so I really probably should have pulled those aside before recording. Oopsies. But it does seem like the openings themselves, or the ratios that you open in the SRs, are pretty standard. It is just something that you have to accept, that there are 2 more included, so that does mess with the ratios a little bit, because obviously that is then 8 more SRs that you have to open to get a playset, which is effectively 2 boxes out of the entire case. So you have 2 boxes in a case less of extra SRs compared to some of the other sets. So that is something to keep in mind. And again, another reason why we might see some of the SRs kind of increase in value, because we do have a couple extra, like, just really good ones to hit while still having a few duds. So it'll be really interesting, again, to see just how the prices kind of shake out for this set. But again, something that I have a case, I'll move my extras and then just keep it in my kind of back pocket until Volume 2. And Volume 2 does add stuff to the current, like, main staple decks of this set, but some of the less popular ones that I covered in my other video are ones that just don't have as much support for them. Like, they feel a little bit incomplete. Those do actually get most of the support in set 2, as well as I think it's blue that gets added, if I'm not mistaken. So obviously I'm very excited for, okay, there we go. There's an alt art. Very excited to see what blue has to offer for Code Geass. So there is our 4-2, and I believe this is the frontline. Yep, this is the reduction Lelouch. And again, I really love the pointed template in the background that they have, plus the gold foiling. Again, one day we will get a better camera so you can see, like, all that extra, the diamond patterning that's in the back. Very, very nice. So we have about 3 packs left, then we'll go over the other hits. And again, just kind of going through this quickly now. And for those who are maybe new to joining Union Arena, against the box hits overall, you're going to get 2 non-foil action points. Foil action points are about 1 per case. There is a 2-star or 3-star per case as well. You'll see one of those shortly. And then otherwise, you get between 1 to 2 alt arts per box. So we are kind of, we got our 1 guaranteed. We are up to our 5 SRs. We've pulled our 2 action points. So this could be a double rare, or it should be another alt art, and we are going to find out. Oh, it's 6 SRs. Sorry. Gosh, I opened so many that I forget it is actually 6. So there you go. We actually got, because it's 2 of each. There we go. I did this in the last video too. But yes, you should open 2 of each color in general. But again, purple did have, or I guess this one, if I remember correctly in particular, purple did get SRs from the starter decks added directly to the main set. So that is something to kind of look out for. So otherwise, everything open else as normal. We are going to look at our box topper. Boop. Which is just a foil version of the raid cards, or just other good cards in general that you're always going to want a foil of. Some of these do come in judge foil as well, which has like the gold stamp on the side. So definitely look forward to checking those out if you're interested. And then we have some of the other hits from our half case that we got so far. So up first, we have C2, which again, if these will ever get in focus. Oh, you can kind of see the foiling on the background on that one. C2 for the pizza deck, which is a very fun deck, very thematic, and the flavor really comes through, no pun intended, but something that I think just falls a little bit short until the Volume 2 support, and even then it does still fall a little bit behind. Another 4-2 Lelouch, the other 4-2 Lelouch, I should say. By far, probably my favorite artwork in this set is Lancelot, or specifically 6 Lancelot. I mean, this card is absolutely gorgeous in person. I love the very heavy gold accents. In the back, this, again, cannot say enough how much I just absolutely love this card. Jeremiah, great step and double blocker card. Also, if you want a max rarity green, it's insane how many alt arts you have for this deck, which they're all really good, so you want to play them anyways, but again, something still crazy to see. Gurren, a very huge, important staple for the purple deck. And again, it follows the same, for those that maybe missed it, has the same exact style design as a Lancelot, so if I were able to keep these, I would definitely want to keep a set for myself because I just love how good these look next to one another. One thing that was also added for NA, which is probably not going to come through for this on the camera, but there's actually like little diamond textures inside the mark here. And then of course, like the gold accents on the side. So I really love this special trigger and how it actually like stands out a bit more compared to the rest. And again, like that diamond, I don't think it'll come through. Oh, kind of can see it. That diamond pattern there is a NA exclusive, if I remember correctly. Then we have the 5-1 Gurren in the same style as the Lelouch. Again, apologize. This camera's not going to do me any favors. We have the C2, which is the double energy. Infamia, which is also just like the coloring on this card is great. I think they did a really good job on highlighting this. Very bright card, pops very well. Again, I haven't watched the series, so I don't know all that much about all the characters yet, but still a very, very good card to see. And then Suzaku, which is, again, goes with Lancelot. I'm very excited for green decks in general. I think it's a lot of fun, so one that you'll want another 4 of. And then lastly, we did get the double star, which, again, I don't think you're going to be able to see, unfortunately, all that well. Does have the gold accent. There's like textures in the mirrored portion as well. Really gorgeous card in person. Now, again, not something that's attached to any of the characters in particular. I got to say, out of the ones that you could get, I would have obviously liked Gawain personally, but this one, again, does look a lot better than I thought it was going to in person. And again, not going to be able to catch a light in a meaningful way here, unfortunately, but still something kind of like right there. Something that looks great in person. I'm really happy that the double stars and triple stars continue to look really great. So that was our, well, half case unboxing in this case. Again, I get to apologize that we were cut off by with the way pre-release landeds and rare battles. There's just a lot going on. There's obviously always delays around this type of year. It happens, but I will be excited to open up the other half of the case and hopefully get a rare action point just to even out the case hits. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Or we're still going to chase that serialized card that you can get in this set, which would be obviously really amazing to open just to help continue supporting and playing Union Arena because, hey, buying a case every single month does add up over time. So with that, my friends, again, if you're new and joining us for Union Arena, make sure you go check out my deck list video. It's a great way to jump right in with Code Geass. Again, there's some very powerful sets that are lining up here. But then otherwise, hope to see people in Orlando for our first 2 major regionals. Are going to be very exciting to look forward to. So until then, my friends, stay safe, stay hydrated, and we'll see you in the next video. Cheers.